Alrighty folks, another awesome video. Today we're going to talk about some of the main devices that we use on a day-to-day basis, especially in the lab area. If you're out in the co-oping, working out in the field, you may be using more conduit and stuff like that, but in here for the most part we use about 10 devices on a day-to-day basis. Let's head on out to the shop. What's the first thing I need to do? Put my safety glasses on. Then as we go on out to the shop, got the same little setup again. Now to display some devices. We've got 10 devices laid out. 10 that I feel that we use most of the time in most of our labs. First device we'll talk about is a duplex receptacle. This is a 15 amp duplex receptacle because it just has two straight pieces. 15 amps is the smaller of the receptacles. Duplex means that there is two of them on one yoke. The yoke is this middle piece, top and bottom. The gold side is always your hot side. Silver side is always your neutral. It says it on the back as well. The green is your grounding conductor, your ground. White is your, or silver is your grounded conductor or neutral. Gold is your ungrounded conductor or your hot. Duplex receptacle, number one. Device one, duplex receptacle. Device two is a duplex receptacle as well, but this one happens to be a 20 amp circuit. So when we see this little extra little piece hanging here on the side, that's for 20 amp devices. Still duplex on one yoke. We have a ground, 3-prong ground system. Neutral is silver. Green screw is your ground. The small side is your hot, and it is gold. Duplex receptacle. Remember that. 20 amp duplex receptacle. Device number two. Device number three also looks like a 20 amp duplex receptacle. But why would I have it in here right after I did the other one? Well, if we take a closer look, this one has a little broken spot right here on the side. It's called an ear. When that's happened, now this has become a 20 amp duplex split receptacle. It's got this little piece missing. The pieces broke off. Some of you that have taken my classes before know how aggravating that is when you go wire one up. Half your circuit doesn't work because you didn't realize and didn't pay attention that you have a duplex split receptacle. Number three, duplex split receptacle. Number four, single pole switch. This is going to turn on a light or a receptacle or a ceiling fan. I could turn a motor on and off, but this is just from switching something from one location. Single pole receptacle will actually even show you where it says off and on. Single pole receptacle. Two screws on one side. The screw that's on the far side is attached to the yoke. That is your ground screw. Single pole receptacle, number four. Three-way receptacle. This is from switching from more than one location. This is for switching from basically two locations. Still the same thing. We have a ground screw onto our yoke. Now we have 1, 2, 3 screws. The black screw that's away from them all is our common. Top two screws are what's called our travelers. We'll get into more of that later. Number five is a three-way receptacle, switching from two locations. If we look, it does not say on and off. We will explain why that is at a later date. 5, three-way switch. Number 6, four-way switch. It has 4 screws, 2 black, 2 gold. It's got an input and an output. It also does not say on or off. There's still a yoke. The yoke is still grounded with your green ground screw. This is a 4-way switch. This is from switching from more than 2 locations. You start using these. If you're wanting to switch from more than 2 locations, you want to use 4-way switches. Number 6, 4-way switch. We will get into wiring that later on. This looks like the same one that we looked at earlier, but it's square. It's got 2 little buttons on the tip of it, or on the inside of it. It says test and reset. This is what's called a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI. This is a safety mechanism that checks the balance of what power is being sent out and what is being used in unbalanced load coming back. If this balance is not balanced, then this trips, which keeps the energy from flowing through your body or through some other means that is not supposed to go. GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter. Yellow or gold screws are your hot, silver screws are your neutral or grounded conductor. 7, GFCI. Number 8, this is a dimmer switch. It changes the resistance inside here to make the light brighter or dimmer. This isn't a fan control. That's something totally different. This is just for dimming incandescent lights. It will dim some LED lights, but for the most part, everything we use in here are incandescent lights. So, number 8, dimming switch. Number 9 is a circuit breaker. We talked about this in the panel, in the electrical panel. This is what sends the power, protects the wire, protects your home from overcurrent. If it does happen to, on this one is a 20 amp. If it happens to go over 20 amp, actually it usually trips out around 18 amps. It will trip. There'll be a little red indicator that tells you that you have either shorted it out or overcurrent. This is an overcurrent protection device. You'll hear some people call them fuses. They're not really fuses. They are a breaker, but National Electric Code calls them overcurrent protection device. Number 9. Number 10, incandescent lamp holder, or just lamp holder, light bulb holder, keyless light fixture. Keyless means it doesn't have a pull chain. Silver is my neutral, gold is my hot. The reason why we want to do that is whenever we go to put our light bulb in, if this outside ring is not the neutral, you could touch it and get shocked. Lamp holder, this is a keyless lamp holder. Number 10, keyless lamp holder. Keyless lamp holder number 10, circuit breaker, dimmer switch, ground fault, 4-way, 3-way, single pole, split duplex receptacle, 20 amp, duplex receptacle, 20 amp, duplex receptacle, 15 amp.